Welcome to the Massive Frontier update video that's going to be focusing on research. In Massive Frontier, instead of researching ships like we do in Vega, you research parts and then you manually assemble the parts to create your own ships. It's an interesting twist because I can create as big a ship or as small a ship as I want and any shape of the ship. So before we begin, the first thing I have to do is log in to the client. And once I've logged in, what I'll see is a basic sector. I just threw some sector information into the database just for this video. It is just like a Vega sector in terms of moving around, with the only difference in that all sectors are in the same view, so you can go from sector to sector without jumping to cutscenes. Another interesting difference is in Massive Frontier, everything is in full 3D, so I can hold the right mouse button and pan the whole sector sideways. So I can look at the sector from many different angles. Aside from that, on the top left, you see what you would expect, which is my res information, my level. The middle icon is my corporation information, and the left icon is just my personal icon. On the top, we have some basic functions that we can scroll through. We're going to be focusing on the research function. And of course, we have comms on the bottom right that we can use to say hello to folks. Of course, no one's logged in here because this is on my test laptop running on a test server. Now, what I've also done is logged into the actual website, because later on we're going to see how this website is going to keep track of everything I've researched in the economy system and how they're totally interconnected in real time. Going back to the game, if I click on research, what I'll see is a screen that provides me every single component that can be researched: cockpits, hulls, engines, weapons, fins and wings, and ship subsystems. Ship subsystems are things like generators, specials for weapons, cargo holds, and many others. That also includes some specialized equipment that can be used for sabotage and espionage within battles. More to come on that in another video. So let's go over to the hull section and look at what these icons mean. So each one of these boxes represents a component, and going from left to right, what you'll see is these dots represent the level of the component. The bigger the level, the bigger the component, obviously. A check mark means I have already researched the component, and if it's researched, this number on the left side tells me how many components I've built. In this case, I've researched the Warhammer level 1, but I have not built anything yet, which then unlocked, obviously, level 2. So to research is very simple. You just click on the component you want to research, and you have a start research and an instant research with coins button, typical to all other free-to-play games, quote unquote. The stats on components are stackable, which means that if I took 2 of these hulls and put them together to create a ship, I would get double the stats, obviously double the XP, and a much higher level for the ship. So you can build monster ships if you want, or you can build tiny ships. This is only a level 2 hull, even though it's the biggest hull in the game. So the build, research, and repair times are appropriate. If you look at the level 1, which is much tinier, it's a lot less. Going through the stats, they're very similar to Vega, except for volume, and I'll explain that right now. So health is effectively health, mass is mass, just like in Vega. Volume, each one of these components is effectively hollow and can hold subcomponents within it. This figure tells you how much tonnage of subcomponents can actually fit inside this component. Cargo capacity is your typical cargo capacity, all of the speeds, ship speed, turning speed, strafe, reverse acceleration, and sector speed, we all know and love. Experience, this is the amount of experience points you get for researching the component, which can, of course, accumulate and bump up your level, which will allow you to hold more res and research higher tech. Also, it will allow you to launch and control bigger fleets. Repair time, build time, and research time are standard. And now, since we are researching, this screen shows us our research costs. In order to start research, we just click Start Research, and the indicator in the middle tells us how much time is left for our research. Now, notice I just started research on a level 2 Warhammer, and it consumed 85,999 helium. If I go back to the website and I go to my economy, what I'll see is my personal res storage, but if I click on helium and look at the transactions, I'll see that I have a transaction right on the top that shows me what I researched and how much I spent on it. This applies for any kind of research or build that you do. So effectively, you have a micro-historical transaction of everything that you have done in your game and where your resources went. Now, of course, if you don't have enough resources, you can either transfer them from the Quantum Corporation Intergalactic Bank, or if you don't have enough stored in the bank, you can always ask a buddy to give you more coins or res. At this point, I have 170 coins sitting in my account, and I need 175 coins to instant research this component. So what I can do is go back here, go to my Intergalactic Corporation Bank, and transfer some coins into my usable coin stash. Let's say 200. I put it into my spending account. And once that's completed, I now have 370 coins. I can go back to my research button, click my research button, and instantly research this component. Going back to the website, I now can look at my transactions, and you can see that after I did the transfer, I actually used up 175 coins for a Warhammer coin research speedup. This is not only great for you to track where your res and coins are going, but for the mega coiners, it's a great way to boast about where you're spending your money if you really want to do that. Of course, these transactions are only viewable to you, not anyone else, but of course you can, take a screenshot and post how much you spend if that's what you want to do, or laugh at someone else's screenshot. That's also an option. And now, of course, that level 2 is researched, level 3 was actually accessible, and I have a check mark in level 2, very similar to Vega. This completes the research update. In the next video, we're going to look at building components, and then the video after that, we are actually going to take our components, assemble a ship, and see how that works. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later.